Welcome! In this video we're going to do a solo playthrough of Warhammer 40,000 Darktide the Miniatures Game. So down at the table, this is a cooperative skirmish game for 1 to 4 players, in which you'll be choosing a mission and trying to make your way through it. Basically each mission is going to have 3 maps that you need to survive through, which are scenario based. You can play them as one-offs or as a campaign. For your characters, we're going to be 4 kill team veterans, consisting of a veteran, a zealot, an ogre, and a psyker, and I've got their cards all set up throughout the table here. And we've got a possibility of 16 Darktide miniatures, ranging from troopers, chieftains, and for this scenario, it's just going to be 6 poxwalkers. So for this mission, basically, the Inquisitor's agent scouted outlying hab blocks and industrial holdings at the mines before mobs of walking corpses made an appearance in an abandoned manufactorum. The poxwalkers attack as soon as the kill team step foot within the huge building. Tide must be held back as more emerge from the dark. Step by step, the agents must force their way forwards. So our rules for this round is a Tide of Poxwalkers. Each time you recreate the activation deck, set up 1 Poxwalker operative on the purple hex, so basically they're going to keep regenning unless it's occupied or there's already 6 out there. If you do so, add that operative's activation card to the deck before shuffling, and our round objective is to go through a round and have no Poxwalkers on the board. So the activation deck I was talking about, basically for each miniature on the board, there's a card that's going to say its activation, and so we've got 1 for each of our characters and 1 for each of the 6 poxwalkers, and we'll give that a shuffle. And basically going through a round is going through this stack, and at the end of the round we're hoping, like I said, all these guys are going to be defeated. And if we're fortunate enough to do that, we go to round 2, do something similar here, and then to round 3. So in this video, we're just going to deal with round 1 and go over the basics of the game. So we've got our rules and our objective. All our enemies are going to have their own data sheet. The only one we need to worry about is the Poxwalker here, so we can set these aside till they come in later. So this is going to be the easiest one of those. We'll be finding some of these people shooting back at us in the next one. But basically on this card, just letting us know how much health they have, a little bit of flavor text, or they are all that remains of the victims of an arcane plague. Given animus through the disease's corrupting power, these moaning cadavers are slow and clumsy, but will never stop, ignoring even mortal wounds. It goes over their attack, so that's letting us know it only has a melee attack, won't be shooting at us. When it does attack, it's going to roll 4 dice. I've got a dice tray here, and the dice that will betray us. So that's saying when it attacks, it's rolling 4 dice. It's going to hit on a 4 up, so 4, 5, or 6 is a hit, and anything else is a miss. And then damage. 6s are going to be critical, which will do the 3 damage, and the 4 and the 5 will do 2 damage to us. And this is going over its behavior of what it's going to do when it activates. So first thing it wants to do is fight. If it's right next to us, it's going to attack us and then pass. And then if it's not next to us, it's going to move and fight if it can get to us. And if it can't get to us, it's just going to move and pass its turn. So basically, you can't repeat your action. So there's not double movements. And then we've got our keywords, so Darktide and a Poxwalker. So that's everything for them. I'll just look at one of these guys real quick, and we'll go over them more in detail whenever they do activate. But on our kill teams, basically we've got health. They all have 10 health except our Algren over there that has 15. Got their name. We come in equipped with 2 equipment cards, which I have on either side, and 2 upgrades. I got to pick those before the game. Some flavor text going over their weapons. So he's got a ranged pistol, rolling 4 dice, hitting on 3 ups. Normal hits do 2 damage. Crits, which is a 6, does 3. And for this ranged weapon, it has a limit of 4 hexes. Then its melee weapon, 3 dice, hit on 4-ups. Regular hits do 2 damage, 6s do 3 damage. And the keywords for that. So that's basically what we're doing. So the actions we can do is a normal move, which is moving up to 3 hexes. Then we have dashing, which lets you move 1 space. So potentially you can move up to 4 in 1 turn. We can pass if we've got nothing better to do. And then we have fighting, which is melee, which is basically we're both attacking each other and we're either parrying attacks or striking back. And then there's shooting. And with that, I think we'll go ahead and get started and kind of explain as we play the game here. So each round kind of has 2 phases. We have the prepare phase and battle phase. We're getting ready to go into the battle phase. Preparing is just putting the kill zone together. We've got some actions we can do, but this gets skipped for the first round. So if we survive through here, we've got options of looting, healing, and scouting ahead. Deploying our kill team, which we've done on our map. It gives us spots where we can put those. And then we create our activation deck, putting in a card for each of the minis out there. And then, of course, our map, which I kind of went over. These areas are going to be blocking terrain. You can't move into them, can't see through them. We've got our area where we can start on the board, and then it's letting us know where each of the poxwalkers comes and where they spawn if we don't take them all down in a round. So we already shuffled this. So first thing, activation. So each card is to a specific model. So this guy represents that guy. And once again, he's at a spot where his behavior is, he's not adjacent to us, so he can't do a melee attack. So then he wants to move to get next to us. Movement of 3. Basically, that's the movement for everybody. So just 1, 2, 3. So he moved. There's no one to fight, so he's doing the normal move and pass and done. Then next up, so for us, instead of going to an individual piece, we get to choose one of our operatives to activate. And these are the tokens that we kind of flip up and down, but they're not too bright on screen. So I'm just going to use brighter tokens from a different game, and I'm going to choose the Psyker that we've kind of already gone over. So we're going to say he's going to exhaust, or take this turn. So line of sight in this game is from the center of our hex to the center of the next hex. People do not block line of sight. Only these things do. So if it goes through blocking or along the edge of blocking, then we don't have line of sight to the target. So what I want is for this guy to shoot either this guy or that guy. And I think I'm going to go with this one. So he's got line of sight. So looking at his card, we already saw with his range, he does have he's limited to a range of 4. So it's just 3 spaces away, so we've got that. He also has some upgrades that I've used that are a little bit better at doing damage. So I think that's what I'm going to hit. Instead of using his last pistol, we're going to go for a Psyker upgrade. So I've got 2 other ranged weapons on him. One has a blast effect. Each attack dice that inflicts damage also inflicts half damage to every operative adjacent to the target. So maybe I should shoot at this one because it will hurt that one that's already moved. But it's only doing 2 damage or 4 on our crits. But this one we get crits on 5 and 6. Always a tough choice. We're going to go with this one. We're going to smite. So our other abilities we have 2 equipments and 2 upgrades. He's got a refractor field while a shooting attack is being made against him. His defense dice results of 5 and 6 are critical saves. So for defense from range, you just roll 3 dice. For our guys, 4 and up is a save. 6s are crit normally, but this guy's going to be 5 and 6. And he's got a rejuvenant syringe. Once per game, this operative can perform the following action. Remove 6 damage from this operative or 1 kill team operative adjacent to him. So with all that said, to go over his stuff, we are rolling 4 dice, hitting on 3 ups against this guy. So I'll bring that out in view. Ooh, nice. So that is 3 critical hits. 2 is a miss, so he gets 3 dice for his defense from a ranged attack. For these guys, 5 and 6 is a save, and he did not make any. So with that attack, we did 15 damage, but he only has 8 health, so he is dead for now. And he can move, but we're not going to. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll move up 1 spot. So that'll be his turn. Then the number 2 guy is activating, which is the one we just killed. So this comes out of the deck. We move on. So the guy with the chain now activates. And he just wants to run towards us. So 1, 2, 3. Then one of our guys get to go. And I think we're going to go with the Zealot. So we'll go over his equipment cards real quick. He's got some multi-flak layers. While a shooting attack is made against him and they roll defense dice step, he can re-roll 1 of his defense dice. Pilgrim's Relic, once per game, when an attack dice inflicts damage on him, you can use this equipment. If you do so, or ignore the damage inflicted from that attack. And then his upgrades, he's got Reap. His Chainblade gains the following special rule. While this operative is fighting in combat with this weapon, each attack dice inflicts damage. Each attack dice that inflicts damage also inflicts half damage rounded up on every Darktide operative adjacent to this operative. And Feel No Pain, each time damage is inflicted on this operative, roll a number of d6 equal to the total damage. For each result of 5 up, subtract 1 from that total damage inflicted. Then his base card, like I said, 10 health starting out. In the Imperium, faith itself can be a weapon. Zealots enforce Imperial creed through their denunciation of heretics, but words alone are not always enough. Such these operatives embrace the excruciation of traitors with relish, for in blood and fire are the unclean purged from the God Emperor's realm. So for range, he's got a Flamer, rolling 5 dice, hits on 2 ups, damage of 2 and 3, but a range of 4. Then he's got his Chainblade, 3 dice, hits on 3 ups, but damage is 4 and 5. And I think we're going to move him 2 spaces here. And then he's going to shoot on this guy with his Flamer weapon, range of 4, gets 5 dice. And hits on 2 ups. So all those are hits, but no crits. Then the Poxwalker gets 3 defense and no saves. So 2 times 5 is 10 death, which is death for that guy. So that was the Zealot's turn. Oh yeah, and one thing I also need to keep up with is how many kills each operative gets. Because at the end of the game, that is going to determine some additional upgrades they might get to peek at. All right, so next up, we have the guy with the orange jumpsuit moving 3. His closest target is here, so we could run this way or that way. We'll just bring him down the center. 1, 2, 3. Then next up, we've got the guy all the way in the back. Oops, he's still in the game. 1, 2, 3. And then one of our guys gets to go. And I think we're going to go with our veteran. So his upgrades, he's got an experienced die. This operative is making a shooting attack. If you retain any critical hits, roll 1 less defense dice for the target operative. And Fusillade, this operative can perform a second shoot action during its activation if the target is no more than 4 hexes from it. Because like I said, normally you can't do the same activation twice. Then the equipment, he's got a telescopic sight. Well, he's making a shooting attack with a ranged weapon on its data card, not a ranged weapon, and it gains from equipment or upgrades. Against a Darktide operative more than 3 hexes from it. Its attack dice results of 5 and 6 are critical hits. A Zealot can't have this option. Then he's got a med pack. In the prepare phase, if this operative performs the heal action, you remove 6 damage instead of rolling 2d3. And then his card, 10 health. Grizzled and staunchly loyal soldiers. Veterans have so far survived the Empyrean Savage Wars. These experienced specialists receive additional training in using heavier weapons such as hotshot volley guns, which unleash a hail of laser fire, ideal for scything through enemy infantry. So that hotshot volley gun gets 5 dice, hits on 3 ups, and does 3 and 4 damage. And then the butt of the gun for melee, 3 dice, hits on 4 ups, and then 2 or 3. And I think without moving, I think we can still see this guy back here. So I just want to see from the center of our spot to the center of that one. Yep, that's a clear shot. But I think going to that one, we'd hit that corner. So I think for our first shot, we're going after this, which will set us up for this one. So we can attack here for a second shot if needed. Well, it's going to be needed, but anyway. So 5 dice hitting on 3 ups. And we've got a crit and 4 regular hits. Actually, it's got 2 crits because of the sight. That guy's more than 3 away. And since we retained critical hits from that, it only gets 2 defense dice. And didn't make any of them. So we've got 2 crits going through 3 regulars. So that's going to be 9 plus 8, 17 damage. Which means dead dude. And for a second action, we're going to use this so we can perform a second shoot action. Going against Mr. Orange Pants. Doing the exact same thing, hopefully. Okay, not the exact same thing. We have 4 regular hits. He's getting 3 defense dice. And basically what defense dice do when they make their hits, they are going to block off some hits. So a crit can block off a crit hit or a regular hit, and then regulars block regular. So he's just got 2 regular hits, which is 6 damage. And I'll mark that there. So that got him 1 kill. And then The only guy we have left is the Ogren. I have to go over his equipment first, because one of his, oh yes, nose upgrades. This upgrade, he can have a maximum of 3 equipment cards instead of 2, and we place it on this upgrade card. This other upgrade is a bull charge. Each time this operative finishes a normal move action, you can inflict D3 damage on one Darktide operative adjacent to it. Then his equipment cards, while he's fighting in combat, his attack dice of 5 and 6 are critical instead of just 6. He's got an armored body glove. While this operative is fighting in combat, attack dice can only inflict normal damage on him, so no one's going to crit him. And he's got a priestly blessing. While he's fighting in combat, in the roll attack dice step, you can re-roll any one attack dice. Note that this can be this operative or a Darktide operative's attack dice. So pretty neat abilities there. And then his card, he's got 15 health. And they are subspecies of humanity whose hulking size and immense strength find ready work in the Imperium. They're intensely loyal, if unimaginative, and will wade through throngs of enemies using specially reinforced weapons and sometimes their own thick skulls to brutally crush foes. He does have a ranged Ripper gun, so 4 dice, hits on 4 ups, does 4 or 5 damage, range of 4. An oversized bayonet, 4 dice, 3 ups for 4 and 5 damage. So he's going to start with a movement of 3. 1, 2, 3. He ended a normal move next to some enemies, so he's going to try to headbutt this guy. So that's just a D3, so we divide by 2 on this, or 3. So that's going to do 2 damage, which is going to be enough for him to get the kill on that guy. And then oversized bayonet. 4 dice. Hitting on 3 ups, so he's got a crit and 2 regular hits. And that he can potentially re-roll, but we want to see what this guy rolls first. And they've got 4 dice also. And hit on 4 ups. So yeah, we'll keep that. We're going to re-roll that die. And that didn't help us. So basically the way melee works is we go back and forth, starting with the attacker doing your damage. So our 2 options is to attack for a damage, or we can parry one of these. So we can spend a normal hit to block a normal success, or crit on crit. Of course, crits will just cancel out 1. But we're just going to trade blows back and forth, so we'll do that, which will do 5 damage. And then he comes at us for 2. And then we'll do that for 4, which will kill him off. So that's pretty much how ranged and melee works. Then this guy gets to activate, but he was already taken out of the list. So we've gone through our deck. We have not defeated all the Poxwalkers, which means 1 is going to regen. And then we will redo the activation deck, so we're definitely getting our 4 cards. I like using that guy because his pants are nice, bright and orange. I can find him, and then we've got that one. So then we will shuffle and go through the next turn. And of course, he got a second kill we will ready all of our guys. And like I said, this was more of a training scenario to get you used to what you're doing. In the next scenario, we've got things shooting back at us, and it's not going to be this simple. And honestly, this is the best the dice have ever treated me in this game. All right, so next up, we've got the guy in the back charging. 1, 2, 3, done. Then we get to go. We're just going to go with the veteran right back here. He's got a straight line of sight to that guy. 1, 2, 3, that guy's not going to get to anyone to attack. So 5 dice. And 5s and 6s are crits. And 3 ups are regular successes. And when he retains a crit, it's 1 less defense die. And he needs 5 or ups to defend with. So we ended up getting 4, 8. Well, just to show you. He's got 2 crits doing the 4 damage each, so that's 8. And then 2 normal hits doing 3 each. This guy goes off, and he gets his second kill. Then next up, our guys get to go. And we will pick the Zealot. So 1, 2, 3. His weapon has a range of 4, so we're 1, 2, 3 away, so that's good. Attacks, 5 dice. Needing 2 ups to hit. And we needed that to get 4 regular hits. And then he gets 3 defense dice. And wow, got 2 of them. So he's going to block 2 hits, which means he's only going to take 4 damage out of 8 health. But luckily for the Zealot, someone else is going to get to go. We'll move this guy up. 1, 2, 3. And we'll let him use his smite. Getting 4 dice. Hitting on 3 ups. So he's got 3 successes. And then the defense roll did not make it. So that's going to be 9 damage, and that will finish him off. So end our round objective. No Darktide operatives are in the kill zone. So that means we are ready to go to round 2. But everything has 2 phases, so we go back in the rule book, see if I can find it here. Yes. Prepare phase. We make the kill zone, but I'm going to skip that until I start recording the next fight. Our actions we can take is loot. Randomly draw 1 card from the equipment deck for each operative performing this action. Give 1 of those cards to any kill team operative, then return the rest to the deck. Remember, operatives cannot have more than 2 equipment cards for a game unless specified otherwise, like our Argon has. But you can swap cards around, turn the unwanted cards to the deck. We can heal, remove 2 D3 damage from a kill team operative. The cool thing about that, even though he took damage, he doesn't have to take that action. We can have the veteran take the heal action and use that on someone else, so they wouldn't have to roll. They just automatically remove 6 damage. Let's see. Note that incapacitated operatives can have damage removed, but then they can't jump in and do an action themselves. And then scouting, for each operative performing this action, draw D3 cards from the activation deck. See opposite, so we know about creating the activation deck. Have a look at the cards drawn, then return them to the top and or bottom of the deck in any order of your choice. For example, if you draw 6 cards, you could turn 4 to the bottom of your choice and 2 to the top in any order. So that's probably what we're going to do with 3 of them. One of them is just going to be healing. I'm not real concerned about getting equipment cards. Kind of happy with what I've got. But that is the basics of Darktide. In the next fight, we will have people shooting at us, so it won't be so easy for us to pick them off as they come at us. This is the map, so we've still got the same round rules. Each time we recreate the activation deck, if there's poxwalkers out there, we put another one spawning and they keep coming, and we need to make sure there's no Darktide operatives. But down here we're going to learn about light cover. So we've got spots we can go into to get additional cover in addition to blocking terrain. And we've got a guy with a grenade launcher and some other people shooting at us. So that's going to be a whole new battle. But at least now we've gone over all the abilities and the basic actions. So as always, hope you enjoyed this playthrough. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.